Here we go. We're live on the San Francisco 49ers Report right here on Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr., and no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, we appreciate all of you for making today's show a part of your day, and it's another good one for all of the faithful members out there who have helped make this the largest independently run Niners YouTube channel on the planet. We're so glad that all of you are here with us. I'm Chase Sr., producer Trizzy Trace on the ones and twos. And you know what? For the Niners, this is the Super Bowl vision right here. Super Bowl vision, looking like Deebo Samuel, ready to take down the Kansas City Chiefs. He's ready. I'm ready. The faithful is ready to get on that quest for 6. Most importantly, though, to complete the mission to bring a 6th Lombardi trophy back to the Bay Area. This team has had to maintain focus in coming back against the Packers in the divisional round, Lions in the NFC Championship game. And this type of determination, this type of vision and focus is going to be what's required for the Niners to play a full 60 minutes, full 4 quarters against Kansas City to bring that trophy back home. A programming reminder, on Monday morning, me and a couple of the Chat Sports fellas going to be flying to Las Vegas. We will be there providing you with the best Niners coverage from Super Bowl Radio Row and from Las Vegas from Monday to Friday. I am hoping to meet up with a lot of people who watch the 49ers Report who are going to be in Las Vegas for the big game and what you can expect with our Vegas coverage. We're going to interview Niners players. We're going to talk to some coaches. Those videos, those interviews are going to be right here on the Niners Report. We're going to chop it up with other content creators from Super Bowl Radio Row. We're going to talk to NFL insiders, current and former NFL players, endless content, multiple videos every single day. We'll be doing live shows from Vegas as well, and I hope to meet up with some of our loyal subscribers. We're thinking Thursday night on the Strip. Stay tuned for more details on that right here on the program. Viva Las Vegas! Are you going to Las Vegas for the Super Bowl? Let's get the comment section going here. Give me a Y for yeah, I'm going. Let's meet up. N for no. And if it's an N for no, I totally understand that. D'Angelo, Mike, Roberto, Anna, CLDST, Raf, all in the comment section right now. And CLDST Prods is saying, yeah, I'll be there. Curtis Kent not going. Ken Dowsland not going. Tyler Caressley said no. Big Hurt, I wish, but Big Hurt, you're always going to be a faithful, real one. Milia, go Niners. Simply Creative, no. Gina G, no, unfortunately. Well, that's fine, because you can live vicariously through me and through the players and the Niners and the fans right here on the Niners Report, because we're going to make you feel as though you are in Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58. Here's our weekly live show Super Chat menu. What we're going to do is that when we're live during the week, we're going to have this Super Chat menu, and it's going to be a little bit of a month-long tally and a month-long competition. So all Super Chats, as always, will get a shout-out. But if you send in a $10 Super Chat all throughout the month of February, one $10 Super Chat equals a ticket to win a Niners jersey raffle. For instance, if you send in 10 $10 Super Chats the entire month, that'll be 10 tickets, and we'll pick a lucky winner at the end of February because it's February 1st. $20, I'll simply just give you a Niner mug cheers. $50, we're going to get a full-size Niners helmet, and your initials will be put on a gold sticker to go on that helmet. Then at some point, we're going to raffle that off as well. And our Niners Report February MVP is going to be the person who sends in the most $100 Super Chats during the entire month. And whoever wins that gets a custom 49ers Report football. So that's our weekly live show Super Chat menu. Let's have a party on this Thirsty Thursday. Today's Niners Report is sponsored by Prize Picks. Daily fantasy sports made easy. You pick 2 or more players. You choose more or less on their projected stat lines, and you can win up to $100 and get a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. You actually win up to 25 times your money, but that $100 deposit match, I should say, is only going to come in if you use that link in that promo code. The picks that I like for Super Bowl 58, Patrick Mahomes, more than a half passing yard. What I love about Prize Picks, they run these specials sometimes, and you get pretty much free selections. So that Mahomes one, more than a half passing yard, pretty sure he's going to be able to pick that up, even though the Niners defense has been very good in the second half. Isaiah Pacheco, more or less than a half rushing and receiving touchdown combined. I like the more there, and I think Brock Purdy is going to be able to have success through the air. More than 248.5 passing yards. Cash it in with me. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS. The largest independently run daily fantasy sports app in North America. $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. That link is available for you down in the comment section and in the description of this video. Lyle sending in a $10 super chat. That's going to be one ticket for our month-long tally to see who wins a Niners jersey. Chase, the 49ers play a lot of zone defense. Should the Niners play man coverage because the Ravens played zone and Patrick Mahomes beat them? I actually disagree. The Chiefs' offense really didn't do all that much outside of the first quarter, outside of that first half. They were bottled up very well by Baltimore's defense. They didn't put up a lot of points on the board. It was a 17-10 ball game. So I actually think that the key for San Francisco is getting after Patrick Mahomes, being relentless with that four-man pressure, but also being aggressive and dialing up some blitz pressures at times, because there is a formula to beat Patrick Mahomes. It's rarely executed, but it is out there. Mahomes, in Super Bowl 55 against the Bucs, was running for his life all night. He was pressured on 29 of 56 dropbacks, the most of any quarterback in Super Bowl history. He was sacked 3 times, hit 10 times. Now, the Chiefs' offensive line was injured then, but Joe Thuney, their all-pro left guard, might miss this game as well. So not only do you got to be aggressive, not only do you have to get to Patrick Mahomes, you have to get home, and you got to get him on the ground because he has such great escapability. Lyle, appreciate that $10 super chat. We do want to do a mailbag a little bit later, and we want great questions like Lyle just sent in. How do you get them in? Hashtag 49ers. Or better yet, send in a super chat to get on the show because we have a mailbag coming up. And if you're ready to start the San Francisco 49ers report, we have 4 segments on the docket today. Some great Niners news and analysis and buzz going into Super Bowl 58. I need everybody watching right now to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. 56 likes right now. We got to get up to 100 before we start the show. We always want you, the viewer, you, the real one, to participate and be loud in the comment section. So do that right now by hitting that thumbs up icon, liking the video. Helps more people find the stream, and more people that we get in here, more people who discover what we do is special, and the better that the show will be. 40 Cal, Dre Day Wesson, and a 40 Cal again, the recent commenter club. I see Gina G in the chat saying, like the video, please. We are going to get to segment number 1. Latest on Chase Young and Cam Newton disrespectful toward Brock Purdy again. San Francisco. Let's go. Happy Thursday, faithful. You're watching the San Francisco 49ers report right here on Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for taking time out of your day to rock and roll with us here on the program. Coming up, should the Niners bench Chase Young? We talked about this earlier this week. It got 70,000 views. The show did. And now there's more information, more context on that subject matter, which is certainly a hot topic among Niner fans. And then also another topic that a lot of people are discussing as Cam Newton went back on his podcast and he doubled down saying that Brock Purdy is a game manager, and he disrespected him again, calling him the 10th best player on this Niners roster. I have my list of my top 10 Niners on this 2023 team that's coming up at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. First, I want to say thank you to everybody out there for supporting the show. This has been the most successful year in the history of the 49ers report. This has been the most successful football season in the history of this great show, and the numbers certainly back that up. Since September 1st, the 49ers report has picked up nearly 33,000 subscribers. In the month of January alone, we've reached 3 million people, and we've had 9,400 people subscribe to the show. And that's why we're the largest independently run Niners channel on YouTube that covers this team every day on the news, rumors, and analysis front. We're closing in on 117,000 subscribers. hit that sub button right now because I'm going to Vegas on Monday morning, and I'll be covering Super Bowl 58 from Monday to Friday back here in the Chat Sports studios for a watch party for the Super Bowl. We're going to catch up with players. We're going to talk to other content creators. We're going to chop it up with some coaches. You can expect all of this for our Las Vegas coverage. Endless content. Hoping to meet up with a couple of our loyal subscribers. So if you're going, reach out to me on X and Instagram at Chase_Senior. Live shows, the whole shebang for the Bang Bang Niner gang. Chase Young latest. Let's get to that to begin the show. Chatter, debates about him being benched for Super Bowl 58. There was a rumor, a report out on X that maybe the Niners are unhappy with his lack of effort, and because of that, they're thinking about sitting him. And the play that really came into question for Chase Young was on the Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown run, the third touchdown of the game for Detroit, which put the Lions up 21-7, in which Chase Young could be seen jogging to the ball carrier, not having a lot of effort, certainly wasn't running full speed. A lot of other Niners were missing tackles on that play, but then as Young got close to Jahmyr Gibbs, kind of gave him a swipe and did nothing to keep him out of the end zone. It was an embarrassing effort. Now, to Young's credit, context always important, made solid plays against the run in the second half. He made his presence be felt, and he was an impact player. And also, to be fair, no Niners defenders really played well in that first half of action. But the issue with Chase Young is this. He came into the league out of Ohio State with so much pedigree. Number 2 pick in 2020 by the Washington Commanders. He won Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's an insane athlete who moves so beautifully on the field for that size of 6'5", 264. His ability and potential is insane. It flashes all the time. You see him play football. You see him walking around on the street. You're like, that dude is one of one. He's a freaky athlete with twitch, with physicality, and he can win at the point of attack regardless of the opposing offensive lineman. But it seems as though he wins when he wants to. He's in a contract year, and his lack of effort isn't doing anything to earn him that bag, and these effort issues have persisted. That was the word coming out of Washington once they traded him away to San Francisco, and now we're seeing those things bubble to the surface here with the Niners. And a lot of the fans' frustrations come from the lack of production from Chase Young because he was somewhat underwhelming after the trade. With the Commanders on a lesser team, he had 5 sacks, 9 quarterback hits, 6 tackles for loss, 1 pass breakup, 12 solo tackles. But with the Niners in 9 games, he only had 2.5 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass breakup, and 10 solo tackles. You'd think operating next to Javon Hargrave and Eric Armstead and Nick Bosa, those sack numbers would increase dramatically. They didn't. They actually went down in more games. And before Clelin Ferrell got hurt, I thought it was pretty telling that the Niners were either not starting Chase Young in some games or not giving him consistent run because they had more trust in Clelin Ferrell, who got more significant snaps even after the Chase Young trade. What's also a concerning trend for Chase Young, if you're him, is that the Niners seem to have this lack of trust and faith in him. His snaps in the regular season were down when you would have thought that they would go up after the trade just because he's a special player. And don't hit me with he's still coming back from that knee injury. That was like multiple seasons ago at this point. But you look at the snaps and the grades against the Detroit Lions. Nick Bosa was the best defensive player on the field against Detroit in the NFC title game. He played 70 snaps. He earned a Pro Football Focus grade of 80.2. Chase Young's snap counts all the way down to 56 here with the Pro Football Focus grade of 57.2. Has to be better against Kansas City, and is he going to play a little bit more against the Chiefs? You look further at some of these snaps and the grades, Kevin Givens, Randy Gregory, Sebastian Joseph Day, Robert Beal Jr. I know a lot of fans have said, I want more from Randy Gregory in place of Chase Young. I want more of Robert Beal Jr. instead of Chase Young. The effort level might be higher, and sometimes coaches look at the tape, they see that, and that's the last straw. But the issue here is this as well. Clelin Ferrell is injured. And not only do the Niners need Chase Young desperately to beat Kansas City, to bring that 6th Lombardi trophy back to the Niners organization, they need him to play well as a pass rusher, a disruptor, and against the run, because there is a formula to beat Patrick Mahomes. Super Bowl 55, he was pressured on 29 of 56 dropbacks, the most for any quarterback in Super Bowl history. He was sacked 3 times, hit 10 times, as the Bucs registered those 10 quarterback hits, and that's what the Niners need to do. Not only do they have to pressure Patrick Mahomes, they have to get to him and get him on the ground to win the football game, and Chase Young has to be a part of that. But also stopping the run with Isaiah Pacheco is important in stopping this Chiefs offensive attack, which has really started to find its rhythm in the playoffs here the last 3 games. Robert Beal Jr., Randy Gregory, the rotation options, okay? You traded for Chase Young for a reason. Sometimes it just comes down to Chase Young putting in the effort level. And they don't have the tantalizing potential that Chase Young does, do Beal and Gregory. This is something also that Kyle Shanahan was asked about on Thursday. He said he was disappointed in pursuit plays. The Chase Young, Jahmyr Gibbs play, that was a pursuit play. Shanahan adding, whenever you're expecting someone else to make the tackle, bad things happen. And it looked like that's what happened with Chase Young. Lollygagging to the ball, not running hard, not making any effort to actually tackle Jahmyr Gibbs. Other Niners defenders were like, who's going to make the play? Chase Young. You're way too talented. I'm too big of a fan to see you just not put forward an effort. It's unacceptable, especially in a contract year, especially for the right to play in Super Bowl 58. Now, I want you to be the head coach. I want you to be the defensive coordinator here. Have a collaborative conversation between Kyle Shanahan and Steve Wilks. What should the Niners do with Chase Young? S for start or B for bench? Respond to that pinned comment on this video right now. Now, coming up on the show right around the corner, Cam Newton on his podcast doubling down, saying that Brock Purdy is a game manager and disrespecting him once again. Also, my top 10 Niners on this team coming up. You got to embrace debate. But first, you have to embrace the gloriousness that is Prize Picks, America's largest independently run daily fantasy sports app in North America, and they make daily fantasy sports so easy. You can win up to 25 times your money, and on top of that, you can get a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the code CLNS. The picks that I like for Super Bowl 58, Patrick Mahomes, more than a half passing yard. Yeah, passing yard. Gimme. Isaiah Pacheco, given the Niners' struggles in stopping the ground game, more than a half total touchdown, and Brock Purdy, more than 248.5 passing yards. I think that the pass game can have success for the Niners in this game. Easy and exciting daily fantasy, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS for that $100 deposit match. Cam Newton disrespecting Brock Purdy again. He called Purdy the 10th best player on the San Francisco 49ers. I have thoughts on that. We also want to show you exactly what Cam Newton had to say because he's not apologizing at all. Obviously, to set the table for this conversation, Purdy's importance to the Niners as the quarterback, which is the most important position in all of sports, is massive. Now, if we're talking about straight-up football players on this team, where will Brock Purdy rank? Here are my top 10 Niners, and I'm talking about it from the standpoint, from the viewpoint of overall football players. Trent Williams is one of the best left tackles of all time. Fred Warner is one of the best off-ball linebackers of all time. Christian McCaffrey is one of the best running backs of all time. Nick Bosa is a supremely talented edge who won Defensive Player of the Year last year. George Kittle is an all-pro, as is Trent Williams, Fred Warner, Christian McCaffrey, and Nick Bosa. Brandon Ayuk, a second-team all-pro. Debo has a first-team all-pro to his name. I'm putting Brock Purdy at number 8 behind those 7 players. Charvarius Ward was a second-team all-pro this year. You could make the argument he should take the place of Brock Purdy. And then I have Kyle Juszczyk coming in at number 10 because he's literally been the best fullback in football for quite some time. There are other players who are deserving recognition. I'll throw 2 more names out there. Eric Armstead, Deommodore Lenoir. On top of that, you could put Dre Greenlaw in that list upon another look. And the reason I didn't put Talanoa Hufanga, who was an all-pro last year in 2022, season-ending injury with that torn ACL, so technically he's not active on this roster right now. But that goes to show you how loaded the San Francisco 49ers team is. Where do you think Purdy ranks? You let me know. Now, here's what Cam Newton had to say on the game manager comments. Man, look, I ain't recanting ish. And if you really want to just be honest, if you add in the defensive talent and you add in the offensive talent, Brock Purdy is the 10th best player on this team. Okay, cool. Did he have a great game? Yes. Has he been playing out of his mind? Yes. Is he a quarterback that's hot? Yes. Do quarterbacks just stay hot for a year and a half? And does a quarterback who's in year 2 just routinely, always, throughout the course of NFL history, make it to back-to-back NFC Championship games? Those are my questions for Cam Newton. Is this a quarterback who is a game manager or a game changer? He's 17-4 in his career. He's now 4-1 in the NFL playoffs. He's been to the Final Four game, NFC Championship game, 2 years in a row. This year, as a first-year full-time starter. Throughout his NFL career now, he's thrown 44 touchdowns, 15 picks, and I think the people are just way too quick to come to a conclusion or to not give Brock Purdy his flowers and to really rip him apart, considering the fact he is a year 2 player. If Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl this year, he'll become the youngest quarterback in the history of the NFL to win a Super Bowl. And what the box score doesn't show people who just go box score hunting like a lot of the national media folks or like Cam Newton, the numbers don't show you how Brock excels with timing, accuracy, anticipation, how he processes fast and dissects the defense, how he can extend and make plays with his legs, either running it or getting out of the pocket to throw it. The box score doesn't show poise, pocket feel, and toughness. And Brock Purdy is an underrated athlete with his arm strength, his deep ball, and the ability to make plays with his legs. You want to talk about a game manager or a game changer, look no further than what Jimmy Garoppolo brought to this Niners team. Compared to Brock Purdy, in 2 games preceding the Super Bowl, Kyle Shanahan's play calling said it all. He didn't trust Jimmy Garoppolo. He only threw it 27 times in 2 games before the Super Bowl in 2019, 17-27. Completed 63% of his passes. He threw for 208 yards. -1 rushing yard. Total first downs, 14. Purdy, though, he threw it 70 times. Completed 61% of his passes. Threw for 519 yards. Gave the Niners 62 rushing yards and 29 first downs. More than double Garoppolo's output. That right there is game manager to the left and game changer to the right on the graphic that we just showed you. Cam Newton, come on now. And is this a game manager as well? Passing touchdowns, number 3 this year. Yards per attempt, number 1. Deep ball completion percentage, number 1. I thought he couldn't throw the deep ball. He had a noodle arm. Pressured completion percentage, number 4. Red zone completion percentage, number 2. So he's excelling in a condensed field. True passer rating, number 1. QBR EPA, number 1. Receiver target separation, number 14. And deep ball catchable rate, number 1. These people will just say anything to get clicks because they understand that Brock Purdy's going to drive ratings. And what will they have to say if Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl? They'll still be searching for reasons as to why Brock Purdy isn't going to cut it. But all he has to do is win 1 game over Mahomes and Andy Reid, and that'll silence a lot of the critics forever. So where would you rank Purdy among your top 10 Niners of all time or on this team? You let me know. Quarterbacks all time on this current roster, 1 to 10. We appreciate you for watching. We'll catch you next time here on the show. Lyle with another 10. What up, Lyle? Chase's Cleveland Furl going to be able to play in the Super Bowl. Defense misses his presence in the run game. No, he's on season-ending IR, which is why we talked about Chase Young in that segment as a guy who needs to not just play, needs to play great, needs to play at a high level, and needs to show the potential and turn that potential into results against Kansas City. Mailbag coming up at the end of the show. Do you want your questions answered? Do you want to be like Lyle and be a part of the show? Use the hashtag 49ers or send in a super chat. Lyle has sent in 2 $10 super chats. So all month, We're going to tally all those $10 Super Chats, and then we're going to pick a winner for somebody to win a Niners jersey. This is a month-long, weekly live show Super Chat menu. So all Super Chats get a shout-out. $10, you get into the Niners jersey raffle. $20, I'm going to give you a Niner mug cheers. $50, we're getting a full-size Niners helmet. And you can sign it, get your initials on it for a $50 Super Chat. And whoever sends in the most $100 Super Chats throughout the entire month of February, you are going to win a custom Niners football from us right here on Eagles Now. All right, coming up next. What did I say? On the Niners Report, excuse me. Good job, Trace. Coming up next here on the show, let's see. We have some Chiefs injury news. Type F Chase down in the comments section. F Chase down in the comments section.
Boo.
Boo, Chase.
Boo. Yeah, you drink that water.
Boo, Chase. Bang, bang, keep rocking, Brock, from Gina G. I love it.
Chase, what are your thoughts on Juwan Jennings being a top 10 Niner as well? I feel like in the clutch down the stretch.
Down the clutch, he might be one of the more clutch team players on this team. But as a top 10 overall Niner, no, there's a reason why he's a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4.
No doubt.
His importance, though, is certainly massive for San Francisco.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, coming up next, some Chiefs injury news to get to. What'd you say? No, you're good. So $20 in Super Chats all coming in from Lyle Faudicala. Chase, I need a jersey, bro. You send in the 10, that's one ticket for this whole month to maybe get that Niners jersey. All right, segment number 2 coming up. Let's go San Francisco. Today's San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports is sponsored by 8 Sleep. Head to 8sleep.com/Chat Sports, and by using that link, you can get up to $200 on their Pod 3 cover. Basically a mattress pad that you put on top of your mattress, and it has either a cooling ability or a heating ability so that you can improve your sleep and a quality sleep at the backbone of our success as human beings. 8sleep.com/Chat Sports. We'll tell you more about them coming up here in just a bit. Today on the show, I want to talk some Chiefs injury news that could really play a major role in impacting the winner of Super Bowl 58. And this game is between Kansas City and San Francisco, 2 evenly matched teams who have earned the right to play in this game. Chiefs making adjustments in the playoffs to really improve that offense. They've had one of the best defenses all year. And then San Francisco coming back against Green Bay. Hard-fought game. Coming back against the Lions in the NFC Championship game from down 17. And consistently, San Francisco has been the team in the NFC that you can trust the most. But these two teams are kind of on opposite ends as far as injuries go. San Francisco really healthy, the Chiefs not so much, and we're going to talk about that. But first, real quick, programming alert, the 49ers Report will be live in Las Vegas next week, providing you with the best Super Bowl coverage. So don't miss it. Make sure you subscribe as we're on that run to 117,000 subscribers. To the Chiefs injury report now. Let's start off with left guard Joe Thuney, the Chiefs All-Pro. The latest on him, very interesting situation here. According to a report from Adam Schefter, he's dealing with the torn pec, and the chances of him playing in Super Bowl 58 are very, very slim. And here's what Schefter had to say about Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney is dealing with the torn pec, and the overwhelming chances are that the Chiefs will be without him for the Super Bowl. But then on Thursday, Andy Reid, with an update on Joe Thuney, said this, that he's making progress, and he's not counted out of the Super Bowl yet. The Chiefs' offensive success could hinge on Joe Thuney playing or not playing because he's that good and he's that important to this Chiefs offense. And the last time that the Chiefs had injuries along the offensive line was in Super Bowl 55 when Patrick Mahomes was running for his life against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. More on that in a moment. Joe Thuney in 2023, this is why he was a first-team All-Pro, overall Pro Football Focus grade of 74.6, pass blocking grade of 83.4, run blocking grade of 66.1. I think he's better than what the numbers indicate in that area. Only flagged for 2 penalties, gave up 2 sacks, 6 hits allowed, 33 pressures, and as I noted, a first-team All-Pro at left guard. There is a formula to beat Patrick Mahomes. rarely do teams execute and complete that mission of being able to stop Patrick Mahomes because it's really hard. He can make plays inside the pocket. He can drop his arm angle down to multiple angles. He can hit all three levels of the field. He can carve you up from sideline to sideline. When there's nothing there, he can run it. When he is pressured, he has this insane athletic ability, short area quickness, to jet out to the right, to run to his left, make throws while on the run with pristine accuracy. But if you get to Patrick Mahomes, you sack him, and you put him down, and you pressure him throughout the night, he's simply not the same player. In Super Bowl 55 against the Buccaneers, Tampa Bay was one of the only teams to execute on that formula. And what were the Buccaneers able to do in that football game? They got to Patrick Mahomes, and they really, really bothered him. He was pressured on 29 of 56 dropbacks, the most of any quarterback in Super Bowl history. He was sacked 3 times, hit 10 times. And you look at the in-depth numbers here, Mahomes' true completion percentage this year, 75.8. That's number 1 in the NFL. True passer rating, number 11 at 97.9. Clean pocket completion percentage, 70.5%. Number 7 in the NFL. His pressured completion percentage, though, he drops down to 18th, and the number goes down to 54%. Deep ball completion rate, number 33 in the NFL. And, of course, he's really good in the red zone, number 8, with the completion percentage there. The Niners were able to get to Jared Goff. Goff under pressure, and this really helped turn the game in the favor of San Francisco, only went 3 of 13, 26 yards. He was sacked twice with a rating of 39.6. But the difference between Jared Goff and the difference between Patrick Mahomes is that Mahomes has this innate ability to have this pocket sense that is a Spidey-like sense. He has eyes in the back of his head, and he can just sense when there are bodies and when there's traffic around him. He can extend plays and improvise. That is not an element to Jared Goff's game, and that's why it's important to not just get to Patrick Mahomes, but to take him down and sack him. That 2019 Super Bowl, it was a heartbreaker for the Niners. Still tough to watch those highlights. So if you hate the Chiefs and you want to exact revenge, I want you to type FKC down in the comment section right now. More to get to on the Chiefs injury front coming up, but first, today's Niners Report is sponsored by 8 Sleep, the high-tech solution to your age-old sleeping issues. 8 Sleep's Pod 3 cover slips right over your mattress, bringing heating and cooling tech that keeps you comfortable and sleeping deeper for a better, more restful night. The pod cover will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting your bed's temperature based on your individual needs, and the cover can be added to any bed like a fitted sheet and allows you and your partner to cool or warm your side of the bed as low as 55 degrees and up to 110 degrees. In addition to keeping you at the perfect temperature all night, the pod also tracks your sleep and health metrics. On average, pod users see their sleep quality improve by 32% after just a month on the pod. There's no better way to improve your day-to-day life than sleep. And the easiest way to do that, 8 Sleep's Pod 3 cover. Get up to $200 off and free shipping at 8sleep.com/chatsports. We're going to put that link down below in the comment section as well as in the description of this video. Kickstart 2024 as we're in month 2 of it, fully charged. Continuing to move forward on the Chiefs injury front, Charles Omenihu is going to be out for Super Bowl 58. That is definitive with a knee injury. The former Niner suffering a torn ACL in the AFC Championship game against the Baltimore Ravens. He had a huge play in that game on Lamar Jackson, strip sack of him. Chiefs recover, deep in Ravens territory. They're able to score a touchdown off of that. And Charles Omenihu was a really good player for Kansas City after signing with the Chiefs in free agency. He was just too high of a price tag for the Niners to bring back after he was a trade deadline acquisition during the 2021 season. Pass rush grade this year for KC of 70.4. He was hurried 17 times, hit 5 times on the quarterback, total pressures at 29, and he had 7 sacks for the Chiefs this year. So for Charles Omenihu, going up against this Niners offensive line, he could have posed a lot of threats going up against a guy like Colton McKivitz on that side. Just an ability to rawly get after the quarterback, but a player who could play on the outside, at defensive end, he could slot into the inside and get kind of that quickness edge on some of those slower and plodding interior offensive linemen. Him not playing in this game also impactful for San Francisco because the Chiefs all year have been able to get after the quarterback. Second in the league in sacks for the second consecutive year. Last year they had 55. This year, 57. The Ravens this year had 60 sacks. They were number 1. The Chiefs' sack percentage, though, was number 1 in the NFL. So they can get to the quarterback. They're very good at scheming that up by Steve Spagnuolo, longtime defensive coordinator, who's going to draw up a lot of blitzes against Brock Purdy. They aren't that good, though, with their takeaways forced. That's where the Chiefs struggle a little bit, is actually forcing teams to turn the football over. Let's continue to run through this Chiefs injury report here, and we're going to go quickly through these last few names here. Chris Jones is on the injury report because of a quad injury, but he's going to play. I think he's the best left tackle in the defensive tackle, in the game right now. Isaiah Pacheco also going to play. Toe and ankle injury. Willie Gay, he's going to play. Not expected to be out with the neck injury. L'Jarius Sneed has been one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL this year. He was an All-Pro. Calf injury for him. Sky Moore, knee. His practice window was open, so the Chiefs are going to have to decide on his game status over the next couple of days. And then Kadarius Toney has claimed that he's not injured. Andy Reid said that he has been injured. He's just a weird dude, is Kadarius Toney. He did practice, and we'll see if he plays as a weapon on that Chiefs offense. Before we hop on out of here for this segment, make sure you give me a follow on X. I'm at 10,000 followers over there, and my Instagram's been popping with a lot of short-form Niners content. 15,000 followers on Instagram. Give me a follow on both platforms. It's at Chase_Senior. Shane Kirshner, $10 super chat. What up, Chase? With Chase Young possibly being benched for the Super Bowl, who do you think will step up and take his place? So, Shane, I don't think he is going to get benched, but maybe you'll see a heavier rotation of Randy Gregory, Robert Beal Jr. The issue with that is that Chase Young is so talented. You want him on the field. When he's engaged, when he's playing well, really good as a pass rusher, pretty solid as a run defender. You would hope that he brings that effort in the Super Bowl, and I think the Niners are going to roll with him. So that's a jersey raffle ticket for Shane Kirshner. And then John Wallace has a jersey ticket as well. Far as me, Cam Newton, who? He's irrelevant now. His time was then. Brock the Rock doesn't rank for me all time yet. Bang Bang still out here grinding. God bless. Everyone beat KC. Johnny Dubs always bringing the positivity. I love it. I love it. Words of wisdom. Chase, Wilkes cannot play zone a lot. Mahomes will tear us to pieces. Don't necessarily disagree, but the Ravens did play a lot of zone, and the Chiefs only put up 17 points on offense. So we have segment number 3 coming up, and then after that, we're going to do a mailbag. So we'll answer your super chats, and we'll answer your comments only if you make producer Tristy Trace's job a lot easier by using hashtag 49ers. That's hashtag 49ers. All right.
We only have a few questions, so the likelihood of you getting on the show is really high.
Boom.
So if you've never been on a show, this is a good chance to get on the show.
You heard it from Trace first. All right, coming up next, 5 Niners who need to step up in order for San Francisco to beat the Kansas City Chiefs and win Super Bowl 58. Who's ready for our third segment? I want you to type me right now. I think the coverage today has been very good, and we're so glad that all of you are taking time out of your day to spend your day with us. Today on the San Francisco 49ers Report, 5 Niners who need to step up in order for the San Francisco 49ers to beat the Kansas City Chiefs and win Super Bowl 58 to bring back that 6th Lombardi trophy. Speaking of Super Bowl week, I am going to be in Las Vegas. I'm flying in on Monday. I'm flying out on Friday to come back to the Chat Sports Studios to do our watch party on Sunday. But during the week, I will be on Super Bowl Radio Row, and I'll be trekking all around the desert to provide you with the best Niners content. That's why you got to subscribe. Turn on those notifications by hitting that bell icon. Therefore, anytime we go live from the Super Bowl, anytime we push out a video, you will be notified. Here's what you can expect. We're going to interview Niners players and Niners coaches. We're going to hang out with some other content creators who also cover the Niners. We're going to chop it up with some NFL insiders and current and former players. Endless content, and I hope to do a meet and greet with some of our loyal subscribers. We're thinking about meeting at some point on the Strip on Thursday night. Stay tuned to the show for details. We'll also put that information on the community tab of our YouTube channel. To our 5 Niners who need to step up in order for the Niners to win the Super Bowl. The player under our watchful eye and under the microscope this week has been Chase Young. A lot of chatter and debates among the faithful about him being benched for the Super Bowl because of that poor, embarrassing, weak effort on the Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown run, which put the Lions up 21-7, where Young was jogging to the football, not running at full speed, and made no effort to tackle Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, I've said this all week. While that effort was disgusting and embarrassing from Chase Young, and I say that because he's a player who's so talented, he did make some solid plays against the run in the second half. A lot of the frustrations from Niner fans come from him being pretty underwhelming after the trade deadline acquisition for San Francisco. In 9 games, he only registered 2.5 sacks. That was down from 5 sacks with the Commanders in 7 games on a team that's just simply not as talented as San Francisco. And when you look at the snaps and the grades against the Detroit Lions, once again, Chase Young's snaps were down. And that could be because the coaching staff saw that effort. They weren't happy with it. But this has kind of been a surprising trend for Chase Young and this Niners defense this year, because even after the trade, Cleveland Ferrell was getting a lot of snaps. So in that game against the Lions, Nick Bosa had 70 sacks. Chase Young only had 56. And the issue with this is that the Niners need Chase Young to play at an elite level to get after Patrick Mahomes. This is why Young needs to step up in this football game, and this is why I hope to see a better effort. You need to stay on the attack of Patrick Mahomes, and you need to be persistent about it in order to win this game. And not only do you need pressures against Mahomes, you need to get to Mahomes and sack him. There's also a key here for this Niners defense in stopping the run, as well as Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco runs hard, he runs physical, and if you make no effort to tackle him, he's a threat to take it to the crib, because he's going to run through you and over you. And Chase Young, because the Chiefs understand that Nick Bosa is special and has a plethora of pass rushing moves, and because Eric Armstead and Javon Hargrave can be disruptive, Chase Young is going to have a lot of one-on-one matchups. So honestly, he's going to be one of the most important Niners in this game, because if he wins those one-on-one matchups and he sacks Patrick Mahomes, that could really turn the complexion of this game. You can turn the complexion of your life and make it better with Prize Picks, the largest independently run daily fantasy sports app in North America. And Prize Picks makes daily fantasy sports easy. You pick 2 or more players. You choose more or less on their projected stat lines, and you can get a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the code CLNS. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS. My picks for Super Bowl 58, Prize Picks running a special right now. Patrick Mahomes, more or less a half passing yard. Pretty sure he's going to have more than a half passing yard, right? Isaiah Pacheco, more than a half rushing and receiving touchdown. Brock Purdy, more than 248.5 passing yards. Those are my picks. You can tell me, and you can win up to 25 times your money as well. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Second Niner who needs to step up and play well, Ambry Thomas. And in the NFL playoffs, Ambry Thomas has been in the witness protection program. It has not been good. He has really, really struggled. This has been surprising because in the regular season, he was a part of this Niners defensive turnaround. After the bye week, he starts on the outside. Deommodore Lenoir moves into the inside, and this Niners defense got so much better. And in the regular season, Ambry Thomas here in year 3, overall Pro Football Focus grade of 71.5, run defense grade of 70, a coverage grade of 70.5. But in the playoffs, that overall Pro Football Focus grade drops to 29.4, a run defense grade of 30.6, and a coverage grade of 29.9. And this is why Thomas needs to step up, right? Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes not only are smart, innovative offensive minds, they have 2 weeks to prepare And they know, after looking at the tape for the Niners against the Packers and against the Lions, that those teams have targeted Ambry Thomas. He's also coming off an ankle injury, and the Chiefs, even though their wide receivers are down, are going to go after Ambry Thomas because they want to stay away from Charvarius Mooney-Ward. And even though Kansas City, a little bit weak at wide receiver as compared to years in the past, their receiver target separation is number 1 in the NFL. They've also dropped the most passes in the NFL. This can't be a game in which you give up separation and then Mahomes takes advantage, so all eyes also on Ambry Thomas. Make sure you give me a follow on X and Instagram. I have more than 10,000 followers on X. A lot of content and Niners thoughts over there. And then I've been putting a lot of short-form videos on my Instagram profile. And for that reason, it's blown up to 15,000 followers. I had 3,000 at the start of December. It's been crazy growth. So stay in the know with all things Niners right here on the Niners Report, but also on social media. I appreciate your support. Now let's talk about Jake Moody here. The patented Moody miss has burned the Niners in the divisional round when he had a kick blocked. It burned the Niners against the Detroit Lions. This is not a game where Jake Moody can suffer a back-breaking miss because the Chiefs will take advantage, and because these two teams are so evenly matched, that could change the game. Jake Moody's rookie year, overall on the season, 21-25. He's knocked down 84% of his kicks. He's been good and nearly perfect from 20 to 40 yards, 15 of 16. 40 to 49 yards in the regular season, 4 of 6. On kicks of 50 or more yards in the regular season, 2 of 3. But in the playoffs, he's been shaky. He's been 3 of 5. And both of those misses for Jake Moody, makeable kicks for San Francisco, all coming within 40 to 49 yards. Again, 3 points could be the difference in this game against a Chiefs team that's rolling, against a Chiefs team that's made it to 4 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. You can't have a miss in this game, and it's the same stadium where Jake Moody in the preseason missed 2 kicks against the Las Vegas Raiders when Josh McDaniels iced him. Robbie Gould was good as gold in his entire playoff career, 29 of 29 in the playoffs, and it was risky business moving off of him with a Super Bowl-ready roster for this rookie. Hopefully those struggles don't persist in the Super Bowl. Let's not jinx it here. And let's get the good vibes in the atmosphere. Like this video right now so that Jake Moody doesn't miss again in Super Bowl 58. Let's move forward with our list here as we look at our 5 Niners who need to step up. Javon Kinlaw could be a big game for him. Why? San Francisco has been gashed by the Packers running attack, by the Lions running attack. And if the Chiefs are able to establish the run, keeps Patrick Mahomes on the field. The Niners have to stop the run, and they have to have success in running the ball offensively to keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline as much as possible. More drives that he has, the more precarious your opportunity is to win this football game. With Javon Kinlaw, there's perception and there's reality. There's a perception that he's good against the ground game. The reality is he struggled against the run, and that's why he needs to play better in his snaps. Also, in getting after Patrick Mahomes, an interior rush against any quarterback in the NFL. I don't care if he has escapability like Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, that interior rush blows up the play right from the jump. It was a pretty solid season for Javon Kinlaw, who I think is going to be able to earn a nice little paycheck in NFL free agency, and for that reason, I think the 2020 first-round pick is not going to come back to San Francisco. Had an overall Pro Football Focus grade of 49.6, run defense grade of 31.3, but a very good pass rushing grade of 70.3. A lot of teams are going to see that. They're going to look at the pedigree, the overall physique of Javon Kinlaw. They're going to take a chance on him in free agency for a squad that's DT needy. In the playoffs, though, Kinlaw's been better. Overall grade from 49.6 up to 74.8. Run defense grade doubles pretty much to 60.3, and his pass rush grade at 77.3. Lastly, Colton McKivitz. I feel as though I talk about Colton McKivitz a lot, but he can win or lose the Niners the football game. And really all McKivitz has to do is just hold up in pass protection. The Niners already don't run it a lot to that right side, so you don't have to worry about that all that often. They run it often to the left. But in pass pro, just don't let the Kansas City Chiefs wreck this game from that right side. Colton McKivitz this year, overall Pro Football Focus grade of 65.1, pass blocking grade of 56.4, run blocking grade of 68.1. In the playoffs, overall grade has gone down, pass blocking grade has gone up, run blocking grade has gone down. And in just 2 playoff games, he hasn't really provided Brock Purdy with the clean pocket. 8 pressures given up. Colton McKivitz, you have to play better. You're another Niner who needs to step up in order for San Francisco to beat KC. With that, I ask you this. Drop me a name down below in the comments section. Which Niner needs to step up against Kansas City? We went through 5. Am I missing anybody? It's up to you to let me know. Sean Lewis, I like the video. Nah, 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 nah. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Who else has liked the video? Type me, and we'll show you our Super Chat menu one more time before we get to our last segment here. We have $40 in Super Chats, and what we're doing all month, and this will include doing some shows from Radio Row in Las Vegas, covering the Super Bowl next week. All Super Chats, as always, get a shout-out on every show. But during our weekly live shows, anytime you send in a $10 Super Chat, you get a raffle submission to win a Niners jersey from us. $20, we'll give you a Niner mug cheers. $50, we're getting a full-size Niners helmet. You'll be able to sign it. And throughout this month, this will include our watch parties. The most $100 Super Chats that come in from one person, the winner will get a custom 49ers Report football, and you'll be our February MVP. That's our Super Chat menu. We're going to take some questions on the backside of this final segment. Hashtag 49ers, or send in a Super Chat to get on the show. And let's get to our final segment right now. I do like the backside. Got to protect the backside for Brock Purdy. Here's our 49ers Report rundown for today's show. We're going to talk about one important player who's earned a contract for San Francisco moving forward, and that player, he's barely been paid anything by San Francisco this year, so it's been quite the bargain for this front office and for this Niners team. We're also going to take questions from the faithful going into Super Bowl 58. Our subscribers have questions, I have answers, and we always enjoy chopping it up with everybody who watches the program. Let's talk about Jon Feliciano to start the show, and it's time for us to really pay him his proper dues, pay him his respect, and talk about him as a football player. The 31-year-old came from the New York Giants, where he was the starting center last year. He couldn't get a starting job full-time in NFL free agency, so he signs to compete for right guard on this Niners team. He's beaten out by Spencer Burford, but after Burford struggled, after Aaron Banks went down at left guard, Jon Feliciano's been able to step in, and honestly, he's been the unsung hero along this Niners offensive line, a position group which has had struggles this year, which have been shored up by Jon Feliciano, and he's provided them with some really, really good play. The 31-year-old signed a 1-year contract in free agency, and when he's giving you the play that he's given this offense, and you're giving him a base salary of $1.16 million and a cap hit of $3.2 million, that's a win for your entire football operation. Not only has he filled in at right guard for the poor play of Spencer Burford when Aaron Banks went down with that turf toe injury, he played at left guard, and he played really, really well. And not only do I think the Niners should bring him back, they owe him some coin, and he can be this team's right guard in 2024. Take a look at these numbers for Jon Feliciano in 2023. 278 total snaps. They were pretty much split evenly between left tackle and right tackle. He registered 257 total pass blocking snaps, 2 penalties, 2 hits allowed. He had 15 pressures. Overall Pro Football Focus grade of 81.2, pass blocking grade of 66.5, and a run blocking grade of 87.0. Not only do I think Jon Feliciano should start at right guard in the Super Bowl, Niners should just run it back with him, and at the very least, He's going to once again be a very good depth option for this team, who's ended up being a very, very good signing, locker room acquisition, very good value play, and he's really helped lift the spirits of this Niners offensive line. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can get ready for Super Bowl 58 with us right here on the 49ers Report. And what a Sunday it was against the Detroit Lions for the Niners, coming back from 17 points to win the NFC Championship game. There is NFC Championship game gear as the Niners punch their ticket to the Super Bowl on sale, available right now, all thanks to us here on the 49ers Report. All you have to do, check out the sale items, chatsports.com/49ers NFC Champs. They have shirts, they have hats, all types of gear, chatsports.com/49ers NFC Champs. That link is available for you down in the show notes, the description of this video, as well as in the comment section. Nick Dolfer, a $100 super chat. Thanks for supporting the show, my guy. And I'll give you a San Francisco 49ers for life. Love this show. Great time for us all. This goes towards our Niners Super Bowl victory. I love getting the good vibes out there, Nick. $100 gets the good vibes in the air. You support the show, and you get to be well represented among the faithful community. And if you send in the most $100 super chats this month, you could win a custom football from us right here on the Niners Report. That's what we're doing for our weekly live shows. Gina G, $10 super chat. She sent in two $10 super chats. Go Niners. Daniel Johnson with the 10. Obviously, we all want San Francisco to win. Do you think that we will? I do. And I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be about a field goal game, 1 or 2 point game. I think it's going to be close. I think it comes down to the wire. I think the Niners get that 6th Lombardi trophy. Now to John Wallace, $10 here. As far as me, and I'm concerned, Cam Newton, he's irrelevant now. His time was then. Brock the Rock, he doesn't rank for me all time yet among all Niners players, because I did ask that question on the show. But Bang Bang still out here grinding. God bless BKC. BKC, type it into the comments section. And here's what Cam Newton had to say about Brock Purdy. He doubled down on his game manager comments. Man, look, I ain't recanting ish. And if you really want to just be honest, if you add in the defensive talent and you add in the offensive talent, Brock Purdy is the 10th best player on this team. Okay, cool. Did he have a great game? Yes. Has he been playing out of his mind? Yes. Is he a good quarterback that's hot? Yes. But he also, once again, called him a game manager. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, is the antithesis of being a game manager. To me, Brock Purdy is a game changer. Now, Cam Newton said he's the 10th best player on this Niners team. Here's my top 10. And you can debate this just because of how loaded this Niners team is. Trent Williams is maybe the best left tackle of all time, one of the best. So I have him at number 1. Fred Warner is one of the best defensive players in the NFL and one of the best linebackers of all time. I like him at number 2. Christian McCaffrey, you could pop him up to number 2 if you want. One of the most gifted running backs of all time. Reigning Defensive Player of the Year in Nick Bosa. George Kittle an All-Pro. Brandon Ayuk an All-Pro. Deebo Samuel an All-Pro. Charvarius Ward an All-Pro. Kyle Juszczyk, the best fullback in the game for almost the last decade, honestly. That's how good he's been for such a long period of time. And then, I put in Charvarius Ward at number 9. You could put in Eric Armstead. You could put in Dre Greenlaw, Diamador Lenore. I did not count Talanoa Hufanga just because he's injured. Where would you rank Purdy among your top 10 Niners on this current team? Let me know. Scale it for me from 1 to 10. Words of wisdom. Chase, listen to Fred Warner today. He talks about not giving full effort. If you listen carefully, you know he's talking about Chase Chase Young. Just the lack of effort in a contract year for a player who's so gifted in an NFC Championship game is disgraceful. If he has a lack of effort in the Super Bowl, does that just mean he doesn't care about anybody but himself? And I think Fred Warner does a pretty good podcast. Does a good job hopping on the mic with his wife. They have some good conversations. I'm going to listen to that. We talked about Chase Young a couple of times here on the show. It really is just unacceptable for a player who, when he's engaged, by the way, is so talented. Lyle, $10 super chat. Chase, is Cleveland Ferrell going to be able to play in the Super Bowl? The defense misses his presence in the run game. I agree that the Niners certainly miss Cleveland Ferrell, unfortunately, they're going to continue to miss him because he was put on season-ending IR with a knee injury. Unfortunate for him because I thought Chris Kosarek had him playing at a really high level. Maya's World, do you think Brock Purdy is going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs and take the championship MVP from Patrick Mahomes? If Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl over Mahomes and wins Super Bowl MVP, Brock Purdy haters are going to self-combust. They are going to just melt, and we might not ever hear from them again. I remember seeing some quote from this guy from The Ringer, Bill Simmons' website. He said, if Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl, I will never talk football again. Like, why can't you just give the dude credit, and why can't people get behind an underdog story? He's in year 2. He's made it to back-to-back NFC Championship games. As Mr. Irrelevant, the final pick in the draft, defying all types of odds. The Brock Purdy slander is wild to me. And there's just one more step for him to end it all for a lot of people out there. And that's winning, but still, some people still have an issue with him, still say he's not legit, even though if he throws for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. He could walk on water, and people could say, oh, it's because he can't swim. Little dude, wow. A couple of X factors to make a difference. Juwan Jennings, Javon Hargrave, Elijah Mitchell for a bonus. I like Juwan Jennings. He always becomes the forgotten man on this Niners offense, but third and Juwan is real. He makes clutch play after clutch play. Javon Hargrave, if he can get an interior rush going up against the Chiefs offensive line that could be without all-pro left guard Joe Thuney, you get that pressure immediately in Patrick Mahomes' face. And how about Elijah Mitchell? Christian McCaffrey suffers that stinger late in the fourth quarter. He's concerned about gripping the football, so the Niners put in Elijah Mitchell, who's cold, hadn't had a snap or a carry all game, and runs it in for that touchdown to really punch the Niners ticket to Las Vegas. Make sure you give me a follow on X. Give me a follow on Instagram at Chase_Senior. Large social media followings on that front, and I'm always putting out Niners thoughts and Niners content over there. Nick Dolfer, San Francisco. So let's pop up our Super Chat menu here, Trace, if we could. And I want you to keep yourself on camera as well to say what's up to everybody because Trizzy Trace is in the building.
What up, everybody?
Here's our Super Chat menu for our weekly live shows. We want to make it fun. We want to make it creative. We're always trying to adjust and do things that are fresh and fun. So for the entire month of February, all right, anytime somebody sends in a $10 Super Chat, that gets you one submission to win a Niners jersey.
One?
Yes. So let's say you send in 10 $10 Super Chats all month. That's 10 submissions to win a Niners jersey. It's pretty good return on investment. We call that ROI in the business.
What if I send 20 $10 Super Chats?
If you send 20 $10 Super Chats, that gets you 20 submissions.
I can get like, wow. Okay, that's crazy.
You get my drift there? $50, you get to sign our full-size Niners helmet, which we just ordered. It just has to get here. And the person, like Nick Dolfer, who just sent in a $100 Super Chat, the person who sends in the most $100 Super Chats, you get a custom 49ers Report football with your name on it, and you'll be named the February Super Chat MVP.
It has
sign it for you.
Has the Niners Report logo and everything.
49ers Report logo on it and everything.
None.
I actually just ordered one for the Super Bowl.
There are 0 out there. 0. So you can have the first one.
That's it.
What up, John Wallace? How you doing, brother?
Johnny Dubs. Now, we are $30 away from $200 in Super Chats.
That is indeed true.
So
it's a flat even.
If we get there, that can be spectacular. Let's do this, though. I'm going to put up a 2-minute Super Chat shot clock.
2 minutes.
2-minute Super Chat shot clock. If you want to extend the show, hang out with us for a few more minutes, send in the Super Chat. Can we get to 200 in donation?
Money, 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 money. Money. Do you guys think that the Niners will be able to sack Patrick Mahomes at least 3 times? It's got to be at least 3. I feel like if you can get to over 3.
Yeah, I keep pointing to these numbers from Super Bowl 54. There is a formula, or Super Bowl 55, excuse me. There's a formula to beat Patrick Mahomes. Against the Buccaneers, a year after the Chiefs beat the Niners in the Super Bowl, they were kept from winning back-to-back rings. Mahomes was pressured on 29 of 56 dropbacks, the most of any quarterback in Super Bowl history. He was sacked 3 times. That's the magic number from Trace. Hit 10 times. So you get to Mahomes, you can win this football game. If you don't, and he has all day to throw, he will carve your ass up. Here we are. 1:21 and counting on our Super Chat shot clock.
40 seconds remaining. Lord, my score prediction is Niners win. I think the Niners are going to win. I'm bad at score predictions. I'm going to go 31-27.
31-27.
I like 31-27. I think it's going to be a high scoring game.
Yeah, I think I said 26-24 in our preview. I think it's going to be a really close game.
I do too. I feel like it's going to be, like, I just like the idea of can't get a field goal. Patrick Mahomes trying to go down the field, score one more time, 2-minute drill.
All right, we got about 5 seconds on the Super Chat shot clock. A 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1. We'll give you about a 20-second delay. 20-second delay for those of you watching on delay. If not, next time we'll be live. Viva Las Vegas. Cubs Webb, they're unlikely to get 3 sacks, but sure hope they do. It's happened before, so the Niners can do it again. Again, programming alert. Who's this guy right here? That's me. Where's he going to be? Las Vegas. Doing what? Covering the Niners in Super Bowl 58. Our coverage is going to be phenomenal. For who? The 49ers Report by Chat Sports. Glad all of you hung out here with us on this beautiful Thursday. For all of my beautiful people, that's Trizzy Trace. I am Chase Sr. For the faithful San Francisco, we gone. See ya. Are we back? Hold on, don't go anywhere. Sean Lewis. $20 Super Chat. He said, beer me. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Got to cover in the secondary. San Francisco's going to have to hold up in that secondary. They're going to have good communication. They're going to have good coverage skills. They're going to have good coverage skills. The Chiefs' receiver target separation for Patrick Mahomes, number 1 in the NFL. Number 1 in the NFL. They were also first in drops. So if you make their lives difficult and you can bother them a little bit, you can also win this football game on top of getting that pass rush. We're $10 away from $200 in Super Chats. $10 away from $200 in Super Chats after Sean Lewis.
We ain't going nowhere.
We ain't going nowhere. We ain't leaving.
I ain't effing leaving.
We ain't leaving.
Gina G saying bye, but it's more like hi.
See, it's funny when people watch on delay because then they're going to keep watching. They're going to be like, oh, they're still going. Sean Lewis said, slow connections.
Thing is, we signed off.
We did sign off.
Yeah, we came back. That's so hype. What up, Sean?
Sean, hey. All right, now we're going to sign off. Sean with the $20 Super Chat. My man. We appreciate you for being a part of the show, my guy. Thanks for your donation. All right. Now for Trace, I'm Chase. 49ers Report is out. See ya. Sean again gets us to 200. Sean, by the way, I owe you a beer cheers, man. We're back again. Gina G's like, Sean again. Chase, Sean again. Sean. Cheers, my guy. My man. What a guy. What a guy. All right, now we're really going to sign off. Hey, man, we're going to give you those submissions for the jersey for the month of February, and you are in, my guy. You are in, and we are out this time for real.